I'm incredibly excited to welcome you to this special moment. It's an honor to introduce you to Sam Bankman-Fried.
What makes him so different and so rich? You said you all...
Was Sam a genius caught by his own ambition, or the villain of a tale that left thousands wondering what went wrong? His story forces us to look beyond the headlines and question ethics, risk, and the promises of the digital world. So take a seat as we dive into the life of a man who went from the pinnacle of finance to the eye of the storm. Sam Bankman-Fried, the brilliant mind, the strategist, the controversial figure at the center of a downfall that the world is still talking about.
He's the CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX.
I always wanted to get rich, but not for the reasons you might expect.
For the reasons you might expect from an unlikely genius, the kind that appears once in a lifetime, living with roommates and sleeping in humble conditions.
Sam is a genius, the wealthiest person under 30 in the world.
The guy's a nut. He doesn't...
Living with roommates, sleeping on a beanbag in his office.
The Michael Jordan of crypto, if you will.
A man caught in a web of lies spun over the years. A devil disguised as a nerd. The dramatic downfall of someone once hailed as the golden boy of cryptocurrencies. To many, he's nothing more than a pathological liar.
In the span of about 1 week, Sam Bankman-Fried went from...
The Southern District of New York has confirmed the arrest of FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried,
the once crowned king of crypto, now adorned in handcuffs.
A crypto billionaire to bankruptcy.
Decided that he wanted to dedicate his life to doing good for the world.
The once crowned king of cryptocurrencies now wears handcuffs. In November 2022, one of the biggest stories of financial fraud began to unravel. This was worse than Theos, worse than Madoff, and it all centered around one man and a web of lies spun over the course of several years. The devil in nerd's clothing. A stunning downfall of someone once revered as the genius behind the financial revolution. Sam Bankman-Fried, the face of a promising era in the cryptocurrency world, transformed from a symbol of innovation into an emblem of betrayal and chaos. What began as an improbable success story, with a young prodigy promising to reshape the global financial system, became a grim cautionary tale of what happens when power, greed, and lack of transparency collide. Thousands of investors, from small savers to major institutions, were caught in the collapse of FTX, a platform once considered a titan of the crypto market. Questions quickly arose. How could someone with such influence build an empire on such fragile foundations? Was it sheer incompetence or a meticulously calculated scheme? The testimonies, the numbers, and the revelations started painting a darker picture, leaving the world stunned at the magnitude of the betrayal. Sam, who once spoke of philanthropy and effective altruism, now faces the weight of his actions as a global audience watches the drama unfold. His story of rise and fall is not just a warning about the risks of cryptocurrencies, but a stark reminder of what's at stake when leaders betray the trust placed in them. And so, the once hero of tech finance faces a fate few could have anticipated, entangled in his own web of lies and ambitions.
Wall Street to celebrities.
Devil in nerds.
Here's my boy Sam from FTX.
Considered crypto's golden boy.
Many out there who believe he's just a pathological liar.
And even Washington, D.C.
His FTX team were among the top political...
lawsuit accuses FTX.
I remember watching it unfold and wondering...
The multi-billion-dollar class action...
A stunning fall from someone who is once...
How?
Everyone seemed to...
causing some $11 billion in U.S. investor losses.
This story begins in 1992 in California, within an academic family with political connections. Sam's mother, Barbara, was a lawyer and co-founder of multiple fundraising organizations for Democrats. His father, Joseph, was a law professor who would later play a crucial role in helping his son raise funds for his ventures. In 2014, Sam graduated from MIT and began working at Jane Street Capital, a trading firm in New York. It was there that he realized the potential of cryptocurrencies, discovering a legal loophole that allowed him to buy Bitcoin at lower prices in the United States and sell it at higher prices in Japan. This method enabled him to move up to $25 million daily. With the money he earned, he founded Alameda Research in 2017. A firm initially composed of friends and former MIT classmates. Although it was on the rise, this would become one of the pillars of the collapse that came later. Sam defined himself as a believer in effective altruism, a philosophy supposedly aimed at maximizing positive impact on the world. However, behind his altruistic image, he led a contradictory lifestyle. While promoting himself as a humble billionaire driving a modest Toyota, he owned a $30 million mansion in the Bahamas. His growing influence on social media helped build his personal brand, projecting a trustworthy image that attracted both investors and followers. Among his friends, Caroline Ellison stood out, with whom he also began a relationship. In 2017, Caroline, unsure of what to do with her career, joined Alameda Research, a decision that would change her life completely. With no prior experience, she quickly became the CEO of a multi-million-dollar operation. According to investigations, Alameda was run by a group of inexperienced young people who lived together in the Bahamas. This dynamic included romantic relationships among them and the public use of drugs like amphetamines, something Caroline even praised on her social media. In 2019, Sam founded FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that offered financial derivatives and discounts to users who stored their money in the FTT token, created by the same company. This token, initially designed to retain users, would later become the epicenter of the collapse. FTX grew rapidly, and by 2021 handled a daily volume of $10 billion, sponsoring events and sports teams like the Golden State Warriors and the Mercedes F1 team. It even acquired the naming rights to a stadium in Miami. Figures like Tom Brady and Naomi Osaka became its ambassadors, strengthening the image of a solid and trustworthy company. However, behind this facade, FTX's operations were far from transparent. According to reports, Sam transferred FTX customer funds to Alameda without their consent, violating basic financial principles. Although he claimed that FTX funds were protected, he used these resources to finance risky operations and cover Alameda's losses. In total, it's estimated that more than $10 billion were diverted. In November 2022, a leaked report revealed that a large portion of Alameda's assets depended on the FTT token, which had no intrinsic value and was highly volatile. This information triggered a crisis of confidence. Changpeng Zhao, CEO of Binance, announced that he would liquidate the FTT tokens held by his company, causing a panic wave in the market. In just 72 hours, customers withdrew $6 billion from FTX, leaving the company on the verge of insolvency. Sam attempted to negotiate an emergency sale with Binance, but after reviewing FTX's financial books, Binance withdrew its offer, citing an unsolvable $8 billion financial hole. On November 11th, Sam resigned and FTX filed for bankruptcy. That day marked the end of an empire valued at $32 billion. After the collapse, it was revealed that approximately $1 billion in customer cryptocurrency had disappeared. Furthermore, the remaining FTX accounts were hacked, losing another $500 million. Investigators suspect the hack was an inside job. using a backdoor allegedly created by Sam to transfer funds without being detected. The impact of the FTX collapse extended beyond the cryptocurrency world. Institutional investors, pension funds, and thousands of individual users lost their savings. In the following days, U.S. and Bahamian authorities launched investigations into FTX and Alameda's activities. Sam, once praised as a genius, now faces multiple charges of fraud and embezzlement. Although he promised to cooperate with regulators to reimburse customers, the damage was already done. The FTX case not only shook the financial markets, but also exposed the vulnerabilities of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, calling into question the viability of a decentralized system without strict regulation. The story of Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX serves as a reminder of how unchecked ambition and lack of oversight can lead to collapse, leaving a trail of victims and bitter lessons for all involved. While Sam Bankman-Fried awaited the results of the investigations, his fall continued to capture the attention of the media and the public. What was once considered a model of innovation in the world of fintech was now seen as a prime example of greed, lack of ethics, and negligence. In December 2022, Sam was arrested in the Bahamas at the request of the U.S. government, charged with multiple financial crimes, including electronic fraud, conspiracy to launder money, and violations of campaign finance laws. According to prosecutors, Sam had used FTX customer funds to make multi-million-dollar political donations, with the aim of influencing cryptocurrency-related legislation and protecting his personal interests. As the trial progressed, more details emerged about the chaotic management within FTX and Alameda Research. Testimonies from employees and close partners revealed an environment of improvisation where multi-million-dollar decisions were made in informal group chats without proper due diligence. Additionally, it was discovered that Sam had issued personal loans to himself and his executives worth hundreds of millions of dollars using customer funds as collateral. Caroline Ellison, who had been the CEO of Alameda and Sam's romantic partner, became a key figure in the case. After reaching a deal with prosecutors, she admitted her involvement in the fraudulent scheme and provided incriminating evidence against Sam, including emails and internal messages detailing the systematic diversion of funds. Meanwhile, regulatory authorities intensified their efforts to impose stricter controls on the cryptocurrency industry. The collapse of FTX served as a catalyst for the global debate on the need for clearer regulations and the implementation of safeguards to protect investors. Countries like the U.S. and the European Union began working on laws to oversee cryptocurrency exchanges and prevent future scandals. On a personal level, Sam's image as a young visionary was completely destroyed. The man who once presented himself as an effective altruist ended up being seen as a symbol of hypocrisy in the world of tech startups. His lifestyle, which appeared modest and committed to social causes, was dismantled by revelations of excess, abuse of power, and an insatiable pursuit of wealth. The impact of the FTX case also extended to the cultural realm. Documentaries, books, and films began to tell the story of his rise and fall, using his example as a warning about the dangers of lack of regulation and overconfidence in charismatic but unethical leaders. As investigations deepened, new questions arose about how Sam was able to operate for so long without being detected and about the role of his partners, advisors, and major investors in perpetuating the bubble.
If you're wondering, well, what is FTX?
FTX is like the best exchange.
They're a safe exchange where people can trade things like cryptocurrencies.
The first
FTX is the best crypto exchange in the world with no fixed fees. But this week, I actually want to decide to be partnering with FTX,
crypto company, to win naming rights
for fees than their top competitors.
They have the most coins. They have
to a major U.S. arena.
FTX is a platform where they offer 85% lower
giveaways where they give free coins.
And tell you about Sam.
He's the young super billionaire and founder of the FTX exchange.
Imagine that at 25, when you got involved, you would now be one of the most important people in the crypto world and have become a multi-billionaire.
Sam Bankman-Fried, known as SBF, is the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange platform FTX. At one point, he was considered one of the most prominent young figures in the financial and tech world, earning a spot on Forbes' billionaire list thanks to his meteoric rise in the cryptocurrency sector.
Out of your day down in the Bahamas to join us. How you doing over there?
No, although...
Not only one of the nicest people in crypto, but one of the smartest as well. SBF, thanks for taking the time.
FTX, founded in 2019, quickly became one of the most important platforms globally, capturing a significant share of the market due to its focus on innovative products, such as cryptocurrency futures and a seamless user experience. SBF's personal fortune was estimated at $26 billion at its peak, placing him among the wealthiest in the sector and one of the youngest to appear on Forbes. He was also praised for his philanthropic approach under the effective altruism movement, committing to donate most of his money to the global community. However, in 2022, FTX faced a devastating financial crisis due to liquidity problems and allegations of poor financial management. This led to the platform's bankruptcy and the loss of billions of dollars in customer assets. Internal documents and reports revealed that FTX had been using customer funds to support its sister company, Alameda Research, triggering allegations of fraud. The collapse not only wiped out SBF's fortune, but also made him the center of legal investigations and public scrutiny. His downfall marked a turning point in the cryptocurrency world, raising questions about the regulation and sustainability of cryptocurrencies. The story of Sam Bankman-Fried, from his meteoric rise to his spectacular fall, reflects both the potential and the risks of the cryptocurrency market. His inclusion in Forbes symbolized the promise of the sector, but his crisis also serves as a wake-up call about the importance of transparency and regulation in the cryptocurrency market. In May 2022, an analyst named Mark Codes began publicly expressing his suspicions about FTX and its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, using Twitter as his main platform. Codes, known as a short seller, someone who bets against a company's success to profit, was skeptical of FTX's meteoric rise. This skepticism even led him to send an email to Bloomberg requesting a more in-depth investigation.
He is the Associate Professor of Philosophy at the University of Oxford, co-founder of the Effective Altruism Movement.
Codes' questions revolved around Sam. Who was this young entrepreneur who achieved so much success in such a short time? Let's go back a few years to understand the context. In 2013, a forum highlighted an uncommon concept. To save the world, don't get a job at a charity. Go to Wall Street. This idea came from William MacAskill, an Oxford philosopher and co-founder of the Effective Altruism Movement. The goal of this movement was to use evidence-based strategies to create the greatest positive impact with limited resources. One particular strategy, known as Earn to Give, encouraged participants to maximize their earnings and then donate them to charitable causes. It was under this philosophy that Sam, a physics student from MIT, passionate about mathematics and animal rights, was convinced to set aside direct philanthropic activities and seek a lucrative job on Wall Street. Sam began his career at Jane Street, a prominent trading firm among effective altruists. However, this decision, which initially seemed aligned with the movement's ideals, marked the beginning of a path that would eventually negatively affect that community. In 2021, Sam Bankman-Fried presented his vision for FTX in a video call with Sequoia Capital, a venture capital firm that had supported giants like Apple and Google. During that meeting, while playing League of Legends, he described FTX as a place where users could perform multiple financial transactions, from buying cryptocurrencies to sending money anywhere in the world. The investors were impressed, and within months, Sequoia led an investment round that raised nearly $1 billion. But there was something that stood out about FTX, its founder, and the ethical narrative surrounding him. Sam was not just an entrepreneur. He was the altruistic genius, the nerd, who casually negotiated multi-million-dollar investments while playing video games. In the following years, Sam and FTX achieved overwhelming media presence. In 2021, the company paid $135 million to rename the NBA Miami Heat team stadium to FTX Arena. Shortly after, they signed a $210 million deal to sponsor the esports team TSM, which was renamed TSM FTX. They didn't stop there. Celebrities like Tom Brady, model Gisele Bündchen, and Steph Curry joined as FTX ambassadors, while all MLB umpire jerseys featured the company's logo. Even Kevin O'Leary, known for his skepticism toward cryptocurrencies, signed a $15 million contract to promote the platform. This aggressive marketing strategy solidified Sam's image as an innovative visionary and a modern philanthropist. However, that facade began to crumble when questions arose about the internal operations of his company. Sam not only owned FTX, but also a trading firm called Alameda Research, founded in 2017 with Tara Mac-Aulay. Although both companies were supposed to operate independently, a clear conflict existed. Alameda used FTX as its platform for operations. This raised concerns about whether the trading firm was receiving preferential treatment within the exchange. Alameda specialized in cryptocurrency arbitrage, taking advantage of price differences between international markets. Initially, this strategy was profitable, with significant gains from transactions between the US and Japan. However, these opportunities quickly disappeared, and Alameda faced growing financial challenges. In 2018, tensions within Alameda reached a boiling point. Employees began questioning Sam's decisions, describing him as reckless and willing to break the rules to achieve his goals. At a critical moment, half of the staff resigned, warning the effective altruism community about his behavior. These warnings were ignored, laying the groundwork for future problems. In 2019, Sam launched FTX, along with the FTT token, a cryptocurrency that became central to its operations. With an initial supply of 350 million tokens, FTX and Alameda were the primary shareholders, allowing them to use FTT as collateral for loans and to artificially inflate their balance sheets. In 2022, the cryptocurrency landscape began to change drastically. In May, the collapse of the Terra and Luna cryptocurrencies wiped out over $60 billion from the market, triggering a series of bankruptcies in related companies, including Voyager and Celsius. Despite the chaos, Sam and FTX seemed immune. While other companies collapsed, Sam offered lines of credit and even acquired some of the bankrupt firms, consolidating his position as the savior of the crypto world. This move earned him comparisons to J.P. Morgan, and the media portrayed him as an ethical leader in a turbulent industry. However, that image soon crumbled. In November 2022, CoinDesk published a leaked report on the balance sheet of Alameda Research, revealing that much of its assets were made up of the FTT token created by FTX. This raised serious concerns about the financial stability of both companies, as a large portion of their operations depended on such a volatile and speculative asset. The final blow came from Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange and direct competitor to FTX. Changpeng Zhao, CZ, CEO of Binance, publicly announced that they would liquidate their position in FTT, citing concerns about FTX's stability. This announcement triggered panic among FTX investors and clients, who began withdrawing their funds en masse. The situation quickly worsened. Despite Sam's statements assuring that everything was under control, FTX faced a severe liquidity crisis. In a desperate attempt, Sam turned to Binance for help, and initially, CZ announced his intention to acquire FTX. However, after a preliminary review, Binance withdrew from the deal, citing financial irregularities and allegations of mismanagement of customer funds. Within days, FTX went from being valued at $32 billion to declaring bankruptcy. Tras la quiebra de FTX, comenzaron a surgir serias acusaciones sobre el manejo de los fondos de los clientes. Documentos filtrados y declaraciones de los nuevos administradores de la empresa revelaron que Alameda Research había recibido acceso ilimitado a los depósitos de los usuarios de FTX, utilizando esos fondos para inversiones especulativas, préstamos y gastos extravagantes, incluyendo propiedades de lujo en las Bahamas. El 12 de diciembre de 2022, Sam Bankman-Fried fue arrestado en las Bahamas a pedido del gobierno de Estados Unidos. Poco después, la SEC y la CFTC presentaron cargos contra él, acusándolo de orquestar un fraude masivo que desvió miles de millones de dólares en fondos de clientes. Según las denuncias, desde el principio, FTX operó bajo una estructura en la que los fondos de los clientes no estaban segregados de los fondos propios de Alameda, permitiendo un uso indebido continuo. Las acusaciones también alcanzaron a otros miembros del círculo cercano de Sam. Caroline Ellison, directora ejecutiva de Alameda Research, y Gary Wang, cofundador de FTX, se declararon culpables de varios cargos y comenzaron a cooperar con las autoridades. Los cargos contra Sam incluían fraude electrónico, lavado de dinero y violaciones de las leyes de financiamiento de campañas, con una posible pena de hasta 115 años de prisión. Durante las investigaciones, se supo que Sam y su equipo utilizaban aplicaciones de mensajería con mensajes autodestructivos y sistemas diseñados para ocultar el uso indebido de los fondos. Además, la empresa operaba sin prácticas básicas de contabilidad, lo que dificultaba aún más el seguimiento de sus operaciones. Mientras tanto, miles de inversores quedaron devastados. Muchos habían confiado sus ahorros a FTX, atraídos por su reputación y las campañas publicitarias con celebridades como Tom Brady y Steph Curry. Las demandas colectivas no tardaron en llegar, señalando a estas figuras públicas y a los promotores de FTX como responsables de haber avalado una plataforma fraudulenta. The collapse of FTX left a legacy of distrust in the cryptocurrency space and raised serious questions about the lack of regulation in the industry. While Sam Bankman-Fried tried to present himself as someone who made mistakes rather than committing deliberate fraud, investigations continued to reveal deeply rooted irregularities. Ultimately, The fall of FTX not only destroyed a cryptocurrency empire, it also forever changed the public perception of the security and reliability of these platforms. For the thousands of affected individuals, the losses were devastating, leaving bitter lessons about the risks of a market that, at the time, seemed promising but poorly regulated.